Welcome to what might be my last ever monthly wrap-up. I've been thinking a lot lately about these wrap-ups and I find that they're very difficult to do even though I really enjoy them, because sometimes I'll read a lot of books and sometimes I won't read as many. So when I read a lot of books, it's very difficult to review all of the things that I want to review without waffling on for ages and ages about each book and then the video becoming massive. And when I haven't read as many books, it becomes difficult to make something that feels substantial. So I thought what I would do instead is review what I've read every 3 books. So when I finish the 3rd book, then I'll review the last 3 books that I read. So what do you think? Would you rather see monthly wrap-ups or would you rather see 3rd book wrap-ups? And do you mind when videos are extra long or do you not mind? Do you like extra long videos? I personally like videos that are under 10 minutes, which is why I always try to aim for that, but if you like long videos then I don't see a problem in doing long videos for you. So in December I read 3 things, 3.5 things. For most of December I was reading The Once and Future King by T.H. White, but as you might know, the book is 800 pages long, so it's taking me a while to get through. But I did hit the 50% mark just before midnight on the 31st of December. But I'll talk more about that book when I finished it. The only novel that I finished was Vicious by V.E. Schwab. I have a review coming on this, so look out for that. I read this with Erica Chung and we both had a really great discussion afterwards. This is the story of college roommates Eli and Victor, who live in a world where extraordinaries exist. And an extraordinary is a person with special ability or superpower. So they're given this assignment at college and they end up researching EOs and how to become an EO, and things go from there. The thing I enjoyed most about this book was that I went into it expecting a hero versus villain story, but what I got was a villain versus villain story. To me, none of the characters are heroes, and I don't think I have seen that, especially with this kind of genre before. This book really grew on me afterwards, so after I put the book down, I started thinking about it more and started realising all of the themes. This is a great book to do that thing with, where you go, if you like such and such a thing, you will like this, because this book reminded me of so many different things all combined into one. So I feel like it had elements of the classic fiction that I was reading in October last year, like The Picture of Dorian Gray and Frankenstein. There's that whole question of morality and losing your humanity and right and wrong. Then the dynamics between the characters reminded me of Charles Xavier and Magneto from the X-Men. They have a friendly rivalry and this becomes more and more of a rivalry as the story goes along. It made me think about myself and my own friendships, because I think sometimes you can get a little bit competitive, and while sometimes that's a healthy thing and it pushes you both along, sometimes it becomes very unhealthy and it can turn into resentment and anger and frustration. I really liked that the powers that the characters get are all sort of an extension or an exaggeration of qualities that they already had. It just kind of brings those things to the forefront as a bigger part of their personality, and then it explores what that would do. Although I really enjoyed it, I did have difficulty believing in it sometimes, especially towards the beginning. The setting of the college really reminded me of like a British boarding school, Harry Potter style, so I couldn't get that out of my head, and the characters didn't really seem to be college aged or genius. The science that they came up with just felt a little bit too simple and easy. Other than those small points, I did enjoy this book, and the more I think about it, the more I get excited about getting the sequel this year. I also think this would make an excellent TV show. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. I also continued with a comic series this month, and that was Captain Marvel. This is volume 2, Down by Kelly Sue DeConnick, Christopher Sebela and Dexter Soy. This is probably my favourite volume so far because so far for some reason I haven't been able to connect to the character of Carol Danvers, but with this one she's struggling with something that is quite personal. She finds out that she might never be able to fly again because of health issues, and for some reason I really liked that and it helped me to connect more. Maybe I'm just horrible and I like seeing the worst possible thing happen to a character. Like, she loves flying more than anything, and for some reason I just like to see what happens if that gets taken away. I suppose it just made her a little bit more human in a way, because her character is very, very strong and she is very powerful and confident, so to see her having that vulnerability I think was a really good thing. In this volume she also meets Monica, I think her name is, who was the old Captain Marvel. Basically Carol took the name from her accidentally, so there's a lot of banter that goes on there and I really enjoyed that. I also enjoyed the banter between her and Tony Stark because I feel like they have really good chemistry. They're both quite snarky, so I just feel like it works. The third thing I really liked about this was the artwork, particularly by Christopher Sebela. I could try to describe it, but I'll just show it to you instead. I much prefer it when the art is very stylised rather than a generic comic book style that you get with older comics. I would give this volume 3.5 out of 5 stars. And the last thing that I read in December was Supergraphic by Tim Leong. I talked about this in my Christmas haul. It combines graphs and superheroes, so you'll know if that's for you or not. I gave that one a 3 out of 5 stars. And that's all I read in December. It was a pretty busy month and I actually did get through quite a lot because of The Once and Future King. It's just that I can't talk about it yet because I haven't finished it. Thanks so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!